Good afternoon and welcome to the Guy Dawson Show. Thank you for tuning in on a lovely Thursday afternoon. We actually have some wonderful guests here for you today to watch for our segment, so thank you for joining us. My name is Carintha Turvalon. In case you're wondering where Guy Dawson is, he could unfortunately not be here with us today. He's attending another event, so I am guest hosting. Not really, I didn't kidnap him. I didn't, hide him away somewhere so I could steal his show. I promise. But yes, so Guy is don't worry, he's safe and sound, and he will be back with us either next week or the week after. So have no fear. We appreciate you. So my name is Carintha Turvalon, and Guy Dawson actually has a wonderful company named Classy Communications, where he helps out with any of your marketing and PR needs. And that information, if you would like to contact him, is 702-845-6129. And you can also visit his website at classycommunications.net. That's classy with a Y. So that's Classy Communications information for you. Today we have a lovely guest with us today. Her name is Christina Aldan. Christina, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thanks.
And we are excited to talk to you about your company, Lucky Girl. Mm-hmm. Is it Lucky Girl?
It's Lucky Girl Designs. Yes, it's LG Designs.
LG Designs.
And I have a digital advertising agency where I consult small businesses and solopreneurs. I work with a lot of female entrepreneurs especially, and helping them build their brand and their marketing campaigns.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. We were talking a little bit before the show, and it sounds like that you have, in addition to doing design work, that you're also a speaker and a trainer as well, which is right up my alley. I love anybody who does that kind of work because I used to do it myself professionally. So I'm, all about that.
Yeah, well, I love it because with digital advertising, there's so much that is involved as far as teaching even, right? And I feel like if I can travel to conferences and I can speak to a wider audience, then I can have a greater reach as opposed to one-on-one or, smaller workshops, which I still do one-on-one and smaller workshops as well. But I really love speaking. I just got back from Australia. We spoke at a transformational conference, which was really cool. And then Code Mash as well, which was one of the largest tech conferences. I think it's the largest one on the East Coast last week. So that was a great time as well.
Wow, that's fantastic. It sounds like you've gone global with your company and with your training and speaking. And then I wanted to talk to you a little bit too about emotional intelligence, or what's known as EQ, for those of you who don't know about it.
Yeah, I speak a lot about emotional intelligence lately because I think it's an excellent tool that's helped me in my life. My personal experience has really helped me with my business and with my personal relationships. So when you start talking about emotional intelligence, they talk about your own awareness of yourself, awareness of others, how you manage your own emotions, and how you manage your relationships with others, how you impact or contribute to your community. So a lot of the requests that I get these days, especially, I work in tech a lot, and so oftentimes the communication between the front-end designers and the back-end developers is not so good all the time.
Yeah.
Or sometimes even with startups. I work with startups as well.
Wonderful.
And so there's a certain amount of company culture and communication that needs to happen when you're working in those highly stressful environments. So
Absolutely.
I usually get called in those situations to help. Either we do assessments. We talk about what kind of communication breakdowns they're having. Maybe it's breaking down in the system itself. Maybe there's an individual who's kind of poisoning the well.
Yeah.
It all is unique, and it all depends on the company and the company's goals.
Absolutely. You brought up some really wonderful points. And I do want to talk about, too, the importance of emotional intelligence in terms of what you do with your work or your personal life. It's so important. There's actually been studies done, and you probably know about this already, but where the top CEOs, that they tested them on emotional intelligence, and they have high EQs. And there's a reason why these top CEOs are where they're at. It's because they put themselves in positions to be successful.
Sure, and it's important too to be able to manage your emotions as you are triggered, as the difficulties come up, and to be able to make quick snap decisions while it's happening under duress. I think that a lot of us, sometimes we might not realize, people are suffering quietly. You're still expected to work. You're still expected to show up and be professional. You're still expected to stand up on stage and deliver your keynote in front of 2,000 people. But, maybe you're caretaking a sick kid at home, or maybe you just had a loss in the family. You're still expected to behave and carry yourself professionally and communicate effectively in the workplace. And I think that a lot of us were not given those tools to succeed and to communicate. And when we can do that, when we can read body language from other people, when we can understand our own emotions and have an accurate self-assessment, which I'm horrible at, by the way. I'm horrible at accurate self-assessments. I could be bombing this interview right now. I have no idea whatsoever. I have no gauge whatsoever.
You're doing wonderfully.
Thank you. But, I'm not an expert by any means, but I do know that emotional intelligence and cultivating the skills has helped me succeed a lot and go a lot further in business for speaking and for my consulting business as well.
Excellent. I love, what I love is that you're studying an area that doesn't just benefit yourself, but that benefits so many others in terms of how they conduct their own business and how they conduct themselves both personally and professionally. I think emotional intelligence, it really is one of those universal concepts that applies to people of all different industries.
And I always tell people, when I have coaching clients or I have mentees, I'm always reminding them that whatever issues you have in your personal life, they're going to follow you into your business. So if you're a solopreneur and you're trying to build your own personal brand, or if you're a small business, or even if you're a large business, if you don't have these key principles in place and you're setting the standard for your company culture, then your chances of success are going to be a lot less, because the communication's not going to be as good.
That is so true. So true. I love that you're working a lot. So it seems like you're working more with technological companies.
I work a lot with tech companies and with women.
That's awesome, which I think is fantastic, because as a woman who used to work in IT, I'm very aware of the stereotypes that, oh, do you even know how to do that? Like, yes, I know my way around a server room.
Yeah.
So I think that's fantastic that you're doing that work.
I ran the Girls in Tech. I was co-managing director for Girls in Tech Las Vegas for nearly 3 years here in Vegas, and I have a lot of those similar stories. In fact, even at the large tech conference last week, some of my female colleagues were frustrated because they were standing at the booth to offer help there, and people would not speak to her. They'd look directly to the gentleman be next to her, who incidentally, was not the one who had the answers. But because she was a female, people would not receive her as well. So it still exists. I just tell people, just do what you do and be so good that they can't ignore you, right? That's Steve Martin. That's what I always tell people.
Absolutely. I think that it's really important that no matter what industry you're in, as long as you're constantly working on your own personal and professional individual brand and your reputation, then it doesn't matter what people think.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And that would be integrity, the integrity part, which is one of the 26 facets of emotional intelligence, is that being consistent and doing what you're going to do even when nobody's looking, doing right anyway. Yeah.
And what's funny is that I love that saying, because there's a caveat to that saying. There's another part to it, I think, that you don't know who's watching.
Oh, right.
Because there have been times in my own personal life life where I feel that I've been, granted certain, advantages or
Yes.
opportunities, and it's because I didn't realize someone was watching me when I didn't know it.
Yeah, especially with social media these days, and I teach
Absolutely.
people that a lot. People often come to me and they think they're going to keep their personal Facebook separate from their business Facebook, and I hate to tell you, but it's all you. It's all your brand.
Exactly.
It's all your brand. And so just making sure that you're always representing your brand in the most professional and the best way possible.
Absolutely. We're going to talk more about how to maintain an excellent reputation for yourself when we come back from the commercial break.